This is a typical Sunday afternoon at Starbucks. People are talking and ordering. The baristas are taking orders and serving drinks. Hearing people across the U.S. can understand what is being said. But what if you lived in a world like this? About 1 million Americans do. They are deaf.
Just because I can talk means that I can hear. No, I'm profoundly deaf. I really because I can feel the vibrations or the sound. But if you look at me, I'm reading them. But if I'm talking behind my back, I can't hear.
This deaf couple in Burbank have been married for 9 years. They want to address a common misconception. They're not disabled, they just can't hear. There's definitely challenges that deaf people face, but it hasn't stopped this couple from raising 3 deaf and hearing children together and holding full-time jobs. But living as deaf people in a hearing world can often be complicated and sometimes restricts these two from doing things that they really want to do.
Sometimes they come with workshop or I want to go, but there's no interpreters. And they're not willing to provide an interpreter. That's the challenge that I personally have because I like to go to different language seminars, but it's always a question who will pay, and I have to pay them, I have to pay for the conference, plus I have to pay the interpreter, and they're not free. They work against me, I can interpreter. I have to pay for their time to away from the family. They have an apartment rent or whatever. So it's frustrating for me as a deaf person. Well, I can't just get up, go to a conference anytime.
Even though 1 million people are classified legally deaf in the United States, 1 in 20 have assorted hearing issues. These include muffling to ringing in the ears. That number is certainly going to be higher based on the increased use of electronic audio devices like phones, speakers, and computers.
And so we're seeing more and more at a younger age that are showing problems with hearing, and especially kids like your age wearing the earbuds and making music really loud while you're working out or studying is not a good thing.
High schools all over Los Angeles offer American Sign Language, or ASL, as a foreign language. And even though ASL wasn't considered a language until the early 1960s, it is slowly expanding to become a more prominent world language.
I feel like sign language is starting to become more well known throughout the society, regardless of where you are. It's more accepted.
Because the hearing people hearing people didn't know much sign language. Mm-hmm. Now we have all these teachers who see that and they want to help them, just like doctors want to help them.
Cal State Northridge has one of the largest deaf studies programs in the country. Students study all areas of deaf culture to spread awareness about the community in their lives.
I learn for myself and for the people around me, and then everything else is social action. I can then go help the world around me once I understand what my job and my role is in that.
The benefit is, I think, that the deaf community is really not a community that you recognize until you discover sign in general. And then that allows you to basically go out into the world and to see that this community does exist. And I think it just inspires you to learn something that you never even thought you were going to learn in the past.
The very first step that I always try to emphasize is that people have to really analyze their own privilege. So that's the very first step. We need to analyze our privilege and remove this savior form of thinking that we need to save people, this mentality that deaf people need to be saved and we have to help them. So that helper-savior mentality needs to be replaced with an advocacy mentality, an empowering mentality. And we need to make pathways for them, open up these doorways, and let deaf people be the leaders of movements that affect themselves. And they need to be involved with the decision-making process and not just have hearing people make the decisions for them.
Sharon and Kenneth are one of many examples of deaf people flourishing in a hearing world. And that's really the only main difference between us and them. It's simply, they use their hands and not their words.